So I'll be demonstrating how to do platelet count for you. So in order to do platelet count, you're going to need some materials. What are the materials? You're going to need your 1% ammonium oxalate solution. So this is the 1% ammonium oxalate solution. You will need the Hemocytometer. You're going to need the capillary tube, and then you will need the cover slip, just as I showed you in the WBC video. Those are the things you're going to need. The only difference is just that the dilution factor differs. In the case of WBC, it is 1 in 20 dilution that we need, but in the case of platelet count, we're going to make 1 in 100 dilution. So how do we make 1 in 100 dilution? We're going to add 1980 of the 1% ammonium oxalate into the test tube, and then add 20 microliter of the patient's sample. So instead of adding 380 microliter that we added for WBC, this time around we are adding 1980 microliter for the platelet count. So now let me set the micropipette. So for 1000, and then because this is a 1000 micro pipette, I'm going to pick 1000 microliter and then pick 980 microliter later. So 1000 microliter. So this is 1000 microliter. So I'll drop it. After which I'll change it to 980 microliter. So this is 980. This is 980 microliter. I'll also add it here. So I'm going to add 20 microliter. I've set it to 20 already. So I'm adding 20 microliter of the patient's sample. Always remember to mix the sample before picking it. So, and always ensure that you clean the outer part of the pipette tip before you drop the sample. So now I've added it. So you mix it well. So after mixing, the next thing is to wait. You have to always wait. So wait for about 5 minutes for the red blood cells to be completely lyse, because what we are interested in platelets. That's what we need in this. So all the red blood cells, we want it to lyse. After the red cells have lysed, then we can then charge the chamber. Minutes is over. It's time for us to charge the chamber. So we're going to charge the chamber exactly the same way we charged it when we were doing WBC demonstration. So the first thing is ensure that you always clean the counting chamber. Then you pick the cover slip. Make sure your hand does not touch the middle of the cover slip, because you need your cover slip to be completely clean. So I'm going to moisten it now. And then fix the cover slip. So after fixing it, I'm looking out for the Newton's ring. Okay, so I can see the Newton's ring now. Then the next thing for us to do, you tap the test tube so that all the red blood cells can be completely lysed. Then we take our capillary tube and charge the chamber exactly the way we charge the chamber for WBC count. So just like on the side. So That's it. Ensure you place the hemocytometer in a moist chamber. It can be a petri dish with damp cotton wool or filter paper. Just ensure that it's in a moist chamber. And why do you do this? It is to prevent evaporation of the diluted sample. You allow that chamber to stand for about 10 to 15 minutes before you view it under the microscope. This will help the platelets to settle. So the next thing is to place it on the microscope stage. Put on the light and then do the count. So in order to count platelets, we're going to use the times 40 objective lens. You don't count platelets with times 10 objective lens, but with times 40 objective lens. And in order to do that, you're going to use 5 boxes, which I will show you in the diagram in this video. I'm going to show you what the square look like for you to do the counting. So whatever number of platelets that you count at that stage or in those 5 squares, that's what you're going to use in your calculation. Looking at the diagram, you can see that we have a large square in the middle containing 25 smaller squares. So when you want to count platelets, you count platelets inside those 5 squares that are labeled P within the large square in the middle. This is the formula for calculating the platelet count. So the platelet count is the number of platelets that you count on the counting chamber multiplied by the dilution factor divided by the area times the depth of the counting chamber. So I'm going to show you how each parameter is derived. This is the breakdown of each of the parameters that we're going to use in calculating the platelets count. So dilution factor is 100, and how did we arrive at that? You know, we did 1 in 100 dilution by adding 20 microliter of the blood sample to 1980 microliter of the ammonium oxalate solution. So 20 divided by 1980 gives us 1 divided by 99. So when you add 1 plus 99 together, you get 100, and that is how you arrive at the dilution factor. Then, in terms of the area, which is 0.2 millimeters square, how did we arrive at this? The chamber has a total ruled area of 9 millimeters square, and you know that when you look at that picture that I showed to you, there are 9 large squares there. So each of those large squares has an area of 1 millimeter square. The central area where we are going to count the platelets also have an area of 1 millimeter square. But take note that this central square is divided into 25 smaller squares. So how do we get the area of each of the 25 smaller square? So we have to divide 1 by 25. That's 1 divided by 25. That will give us 0.04 millimeters square for each of the 25 smaller square that is present inside that large central square. So if each of them have 0.04 millimeters square, and we only counted the platelets in 5 different squares, so that means what we need to do is just to multiply 5 by 0.04, and that will give us 0.2 millimeters square, and that's how we arrive at the area counted. As for the depth, which is 0.1 millimeter, it is just the space occupied by the mixture between the cover slip and the central area of the counting chamber. That's how you get the depth, more like the distance, between the cover slip and the counting chamber. And that's the reason why it is important to ensure that
You mount the cover slip well. Ensure you see the Newton's ring when you mount it. This is an example of platelet count calculation. So we have our formula, which is number of platelets counted multiplied by the dilution factor divided by the area times depth of the counting chamber. Take note that the dilution factor, the area counted, and the depth of the counting chamber are always constant. So those values does not change. The only value that will change is the number of platelets counted. So in this case, the number of platelets counted is 10 platelets within the 5 squares. So to get the calculation, all you need to do is follow your formula. The number of platelets counted is 10 multiplied by the dilution factor, which is 100, divided by the area, which is 0.2, then multiplied by the depth, which is 0.1. So you get 50,000 per cubic millimeter. And how did we arrive at the cubic millimeter? It's because the area is millimeter square while the depth is in millimeter. So millimeter square and millimeter will give you millimeter cube. And when you are taking it, by the time you are getting the unit, it is per millimeter cube. Or you can as well write per cubic millimeter. It is the same thing. To convert it to SI units, all you need to do is to multiply the 50,000 that you get by 10 raised to power 6, and you get 50 times 10 raised to power 9 per liter. And that is our result in SI units. What are the sources of errors in platelet count? The first one is that if there is presence of clots in the sample, it can reduce the amount of platelets that you count. So definitely you have to ensure that when you collect any sample, you look out for the presence of clots. If the sample is clotted, it must be rejected. Then number 2 is if the blood sample is not well mixed. Before you do any test in hematology lab, you have to ensure that you mix the sample, because what the sample we use is whole blood. So because you're using whole blood, you have to ensure that you mix the cells with the plasma before taking the sample. Then third one is that you should not mistake debris for platelets during counting. Hence, you have to ensure that you clean the counting chamber very well, and then ensure that the diluting fluid is well filtered. If you do that, you'll be able to avoid the presence of debris. Not use intense illumination. Anytime you want to view any prep under the microscope, you have to ensure you lower the condenser and then close the diaphragm so that you'll be able to control the amount of light. Then platelet count is best performed within 2 hours of collecting blood, because the half-life of platelets is low. And apart from that, when you want to stop platelets and you want it to be preserved, it has to be on an agitator. So if you just put it in an EDTA bottle and you drop it on the bench, definitely the platelets will be reducing over time. So it is best performed within 2 hours of collecting the sample. And the last one is that the diluting fluid must be well filtered, which I have mentioned before.